Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I found this wee story about a guy hearing his own voice for the first time. I thought it was quite appropriate because I remember hearing myself on YouTube for the first time and thought, oh my god, do I sound like that? So anyway, here we go. My own voice. Technically speaking, this first subject may not really fit in all that well to the theme of this book, but it's desperate for material, you see, in order to make my self-imposed quota of 25 topics. I'm going to use it anyway. I also needed a way of starting this book and getting the ball rolling, so I'm going to share this unfortunate occurrence with you, which I did find very traumatising at the time it happened. As a gentle opener to ease myself into the swing of things before I really let loose, crank things up, completely lose the fucking plot, and tell you about all the other things that caused me to scream obscenities inside my own head, like a deranged mental case. Now, believe it or not, and this wasn't as difficult as it may seem, but I managed to make it all the way into my late 20s before I ever heard my own voice as it really sounds to other people. I never had an answering machine for my landline, you see, and I never recorded a jokey message for the voicemail on my mobile phone either, like most people were doing in the late 90s. So I was convinced that I had a strong voice. Nothing like the great thespian Brian Blessed, mind you, not even close, but still a normal, strong voice that didn't make me sound like a complete and utter muppet. Boy, was I fucking wrong. I was working for a small insurance company at the time, and we had to outsource the creation of some software components to a consultancy firm in order to keep one of our critical projects on track, and therefore, as part of the process, we decided to record all of our meetings to ensure that there were no mistakes or misunderstandings between the two teams. Anyway, to cut a tediously long story short, we had to listen to one of the meetings we recorded to clear up a problem, which is when I heard my own voice for the very first time. The whole team was in a room listening to the recording and listening to themselves talking and asking questions, and they all sounded on tape like they sounded when they normally spoke. And then I finally said something, and it was like a complete and total fucking stranger had walked into the meeting and asked a question instead of me. But I knew it was me speaking on the recording, of course. I couldn't believe what I was fucking hearing, though. My recorded voice didn't sound anything like what I thought my real voice sounded like. What I was convinced my real voice sounded like when I talked to people. I generally thought I had a strong voice, but I actually sounded like a hesitant little boy instead, whose balls had yet to drop. It totally freaked me out, I can tell you. I was both mortified and horrified, and I quite literally wanted to shrivel up and die right there and then in my swivel chair. And things only got worse. You see, I quickly convinced myself that there must be something wrong with the recording, even though the voices of everyone else in the room sounded completely normal to me, and swiftly broached this idea with my friends and colleagues. However, they all vigorously shook their heads and informed me that this was indeed what my real voice sounded like all the time, of course, and I was left completely devastated by this unwanted and cruel revelation. Talk about a complete and total mindfuck. Anyway, this truly was a distressing event for me, which I took a very long time to get over, and I have also taken the necessary steps ever since to never hear my own pathetically weak voice again. So be warned, my friend, because if you've somehow managed to never hear what your real voice sounds like, then now is probably not the time to fucking start. Just in case. Ignorance really is bliss. Believe me. The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and press the wee bell notification. And a huge big thank you to all my subscribers, patrons and members. See you next week. Bye bye.